This is what losing $1,000 in Pokemon looks like. A beautiful binder filled with amazing rare Pokemon cards from Vivid Voltage. Because today, I could sell this collection for maybe $200, but when I built this binder, I paid over $1,200. And today, as Pokemon is booming, all kinds of collectors and investors are seeing their collections start to rise in value. I look quite the fool with my worthless binder that I love so much. But trust me, this could happen to you, because when I built this binder, I was a new collector and investor buying during the 2021 pandemic Pokemon boom. A market environment that is starting to look a lot like today, with scalpers rushing retail stores, the latest sets sold out everywhere and selling for huge premiums, all while more and more new collectors keep flooding the market. In this video, I'm going to share the lessons I've learned collecting Pokemon during a booming market so that you can avoid the costly mistakes I made and make sure to get the most from your hard-earned collecting dollars. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TCG Buyers Club. My name's Gray, I buy cardboard, and I make collecting and investing in Pokemon simple. Everyone loves the idea of a Pokemon boom. With tons of enthusiastic new collectors entering the market, there's this growing sense that, you know what? Pokemon is awesome. And it can be a wonderful time, especially when you're watching the value of your collection just surge. But unfortunately, what starts so good can quickly turn bad. Because as more and more collectors enter the market, the demand for products rises massively, and it quickly can outweigh supply. Prices start rising, and it becomes harder and harder for collectors to just participate, let alone enjoy the hobby. And to make matters worse, the rising prices grab the attention of scalpers and other opportunistic people who are just looking to make a quick buck. And this only accelerates the problem and makes it even worse. It's in this rapidly changing market where I made a number of terrible decisions that have cost me thousands of dollars, starting with my binder of amazing rare cards. If you're buying collection items and plan to hold for the long term, whether they're for your personal collection or they're an investment you hope to sell for a profit many years later, buying into any booming market is extremely risky. And this is exactly how I lost so much money on these amazing rare cards. Because, believe it or not, I did not buy these cards at the peak of the market. And I didn't buy them anywhere near their release. In fact, I bought these cards more than a year after their release, when multiple rounds of reprints had caused these prices to drop 60% or more. I thought I'd been patient, and I'd watched these dramatic market moves without taking any action. I thought I'd seen the bottom, or at least was close enough that it was going to be a good time to buy. Certainly, it was the best time to buy that I'd seen, because a 60% drop in price is huge. And in the end, I couldn't have been more wrong. These extreme market environments simply create extreme outcomes. I didn't have the experience to recognize the volume of the reprints that were still to come, or the effect that they would have on the market. But truthfully, I'm not sure anyone really knows for sure. That 60% drop very well might have been as low as this went. And this is why I say, in a booming market, all purchases are risky. But there's an important lesson here, and there's definitely something you can do about it. It's relatively simple, but you might not like it. See, these experiences helped me develop a better understanding of collectibles market movements. It's what I call the collectibles hype cycle. It's informed by this book from the 1980s, written by the legendary collector Mr. Harry Rinker, who teaches that collectible markets tend to be defined by these long periods with little to no market moves. In fact, it's a boring period of time. But these boring stability periods are broken by explosive booms where prices can rise many times over before correcting back down to a new stability level. This is the Collectibles hype cycle. And if you want to learn more about it, I've linked to my detailed video explaining it all below. Just check in the description. But the essential insight for any collector or investor is this: a boom cycle is not the time to be building your collection. Instead, this is the time to be selling and capitalizing as much as possible on the short-term market euphoria. As an investor, these boom cycles are the obvious time to start cashing in on the positions you've been building during those boring stability cycles. And as a collector, it's the perfect opportunity to sell any duplicates or less meaningful pieces from your collection in order to raise funds to make other collection purchases in the future. This is simply the reality if you have a long-term perspective on the hobby. You sell into the hype and you do not buy. But I know that there's some new collectors watching this video. And for you, I understand that this isn't what you want to hear. If you've just started collecting again, of course you want to buy Pokemon cards. That is the whole fun. But this is exactly the situation I found myself in when I started collecting again in late 2020. And because of that, I did buy into the hype. But what I've learned since then from continuing to be a Pokemon collector is I've seen the prices go back down on just about everything I bought during that period of time. Whether it was because of reprints flooding the market or just because the demand was in general a bit lower, I had better opportunities to buy a lot of the items I bought during the boom in the years that followed. But of course, I want everyone watching this video to be able to enjoy Pokemon. This isn't meant to scare you off. It might suck that for now, cards are a little more expensive to buy, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy them and have some fun. What my mistake was not just enjoying the hobby and collecting, it was getting greedy after watching other collectors who'd been in the hobby longer than I have make money on the purchases they made years ago and wanting a piece of that. I was making larger purchases with a long-term perspective when the market was already at all-time high levels. And as a result, I had to watch the market dip and the value of those items decrease while I waited for another boom when I can finally sell them at a higher price. Having seen it all play out, I of course wish I'd waited a little longer and made more of those purchases when the market was boring again. So that's my advice to you as well. Now, I'll admit there are some short-term opportunities here. If this is anything like last time, the market should be in an early phase of the boom right now, which means that we still expect prices to continue going up. For example, Surging Sparks has just been released recently, and anyone who pre-ordered their booster boxes a month ago is laughing with the prices already exploding. So yeah, if that's you, you could sell those booster boxes now and make a profit, and maybe you enjoy that. But as we move forward into this market, the question is, what kinds of deals do you have access to? And are you prepared to accept the risk if you do in fact mistime one of these purchases? For me, I'm just not interested in these short-term games. More importantly, because of my time through the last Pokemon boom, I've been able to learn from these lessons, and I built positions over the last few years while Pokemon was boring and prices were relatively cheap. And now, my most important reminder is to remember that we sell into the hype, and it's time for me to start taking that seriously if we are truly in the next boom. So look, in the end, I hope my experience is helpful to you as we navigate what looks like the next big Pokemon boom. And hopefully you won't make the same mistakes I did. I often preach patience on this channel, and these are the lessons why. So I hope if you're new, you won't burn yourself out buying things at all-time high prices and feeling bad if the market drops in the future. In the end, I hope you find something to enjoy in the hobby, even if it's a little hard to find products at retail, and that you stick around for the long term, because in the end, that's what's best for all of us, more people loving Pokemon. Now, if you're watching this far into the video, leave a comment and say dumb gray, maybe, to let me know you made it to the end. And of course, give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of analysis. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss my next videos as we all navigate this crazy market together. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to the TCG Buyers Club. My name's Gray. I buy cardboard, and I'll see you in the next video.